Final Pogba will leave for Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. They went for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandes. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everyone and welcome to All in All United now, fellas and lady. Fellas and lady, today is a good day. Today is a good day. I can say it one more time, only today is a real good day. Now, it's a plenty of reasons why, right? One, we finally announced, presented Rafael Varane to the fan base and to everybody. And secondly, if you look at the runner below, we get Leeds for five of the best. So let me get into it, guys. Now, the normal format is such that we look at the team sheets and we try our best not to allow hindsight to influence, our opinions now, because obviously when the team sheets would have come out, we would have feel a particular way, and that is what we want to get now, right? We want now that, because Fred had a good game and because McTominay had a good game, you come on here, we will praise them, but we want to get, the reaction, how you felt about the team sheets when it came out before kickoff, right? So let me get into it. Nico on the inside,
good night.
And Big Phil or Pogba and Bruno. Welcome,
bonjour,
guys.
Bonjour.
So Nico, tell me, team sheets.
Team sheet. Well, definitely. I was a bit surprised with who. I wasn't all that surprised, but not seeing Martial to me was a surprise. I thought Martial would have definitely been given the nod up top. I know for some reason Oli loved James for that energy, so that wasn't a big surprise. I would have gone with Matic earlier because I know Matic had a decent game against Everton, so I say maybe Matic should have played. Seeing McFred, I was all right. Well, tried and trusted, no problem. Tried and trusted. We went against Leeds. We need the physicality. I think the McFred, they have a chemistry between themselves, so we know exactly what we're going to get. But the key or the difference was that no Martial and playing Greenwood through the top, and I think that was more the surprise to me in the team sheet. Yeah.
All right. Phil, team sheet reactions.
Yeah, similar to what Nico said. Seeing McFred, it was like, all right, cool, no problem. Seeing Greenwood up top, I've said on many podcasts, I think our best hold-up player up top is either Cavani or Martial, right? I saw somebody in the comments that Martial wasn't fully fit. Yeah, he wasn't fully fit, but fully fit can still give you probably 60 or 70 minutes, right? And Martial today played maybe about 20 or less than 20 minutes today, right? Obviously, we knew that Rafael Varane wasn't going to take part, so we had to accept that Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire would have been in that back four. But I had the confidence that we could have at least done a job against Leeds today. So,
all right, nice, Becky.
No surprises in the team sheet for me. I think that's the lineup I expected, mostly because I didn't expect Sancho, Varane, or any of these players to start, and the others who did not start, who were on the bench, didn't have a full preseason and weren't completely fit to start the game anyway. I have no problem with McFred. I know it's a big issue for a lot of fans, but I have no problem with Fred and McTominay in the midfield. From the lineup, it looked like Bruno was at center forward, but he played well in the position, and Greenwood is good across the front, as far as I can see so far. So, yeah, no surprises.
All right. So before I get to Greg, I just want to recognize some people on the inside as well. The Vindra, welcome, buddy. Anderson Doldron, thanks for joining. Peter, Richard, and Joselle, thanks, guys, for joining. Don't forget to like and share as well as we move on, right? Gregory, thoughts on the team sheet? No hindsight, buddy. You know?
Bro, I mean, it was. I know people were crying out for a different type of look. I heard many of the calls. Everybody was saying, "Why play McFred again?" But we saw the end result. You know, it shows that, you know, the trust that Ollie has put in these players, and he knows what they're capable of when they're on song, and they showed that today. So I have no issues with what we saw because the performance speaks for itself.
Nice. And also on the inside, Michelle Christopher, thanks for joining. Jody, the Juju man.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for joining, buddy. And David, thanks for joining as well.
Yeah, good night. Good night.
Peter's saying, I'm a serious fan of McTominay. I said that in many discussions, but no doubt the crowd was the 12th man today. The team sheet was predictable because of those who were present in training. My thoughts on the team sheet, and you know, guys, from the last review when we were kind of predicting what Ollie would have gone with against Leeds, I predicted the McFred. You know, and simply because the McFred, and I mean, even though I didn't want James, you kind of figured he would have gone with James simply because Ollie wanted to match the intensity at Leeds. He wanted to match the physicality at Leeds because that's the kind of threat that they pose. You know, they're relentless with how they play. You know, they go at you and they don't stop. So I know for sure Ollie would have wanted to match them there. And you'll get it with McTominay, you'll get it with Fred, you'll get it with James. On the quality level, we could debate that, but the guys showed up today. You know, I agree with Nico in terms of expecting Martial to start, but then again, when a guy hasn't played for 5 months, he only got his first set of minutes against Everton, coming back in with the kind of intensity that you were expecting from Leeds and the high press. Probably he may not have lasted as long as he or he may have wanted. So, I mean, it worked out because I thought Greenwood did a very, very good job, you know? So, yeah.
Greg, I don't know if you go back to Greg in terms of what Greg.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. My laptop gave me all kind of trouble right now. Sorry about that. What was the last part? I missed that last part.
No, that's talking about
the team sheet. No, that's the team sheet. We're talking about the team sheet, you know? Any surprises?
Not really, because I mean, I think it was basically what he had there with him, and it was something that, you know, he trusted. So what the players that were available at that point in time were people that were accustomed. I mean, this is not a Leeds team that's unfamiliar to the personnel that were on the pitch. So we remember what happened the last time McTominay and everybody played, because I mean, he got 2. But what I want to say is, like, I have to put out a APB for Paul Pogba, because where has this Paul Pogba been for some time? Because
Paul Pogba's back right now.
This performance today,
Paul Pogba's back right now.
This performance today is what we have literally been begging Paul Pogba for some time. You know what it is to see him literally pass like he had a wand in his hand and just let him work magic on that field. Every ball that he played to make those passes, to get those goals, were perfect. Very perfect. And you saw Bruno just thriving off of that. The combination between the two of them was wonderful to see.
Was telepathic.
Yeah. And I think you can understand, even when they celebrated one of the goals, you saw Bruno pointed to Pogba and say, this guy. You can see that they love each other.
Manchester United. He's pointing at the best midfielder at Manchester United.
And you can see there's a bit of a bromance budding between the two of them, because it's like they understand each other, they respect each other's qualities. And I think the two of them kind of bring the best out of each other in that sense. So it's good to see, and I just hope we can get more of it this season, because I think it's one thing that's always summed up in one word when it comes to Paul Pogba: consistency. Because you'll see he'll probably be on for like 2-3 games, and then all of a sudden it's like, what up? Where'd you go? And today he looked like he was in Super Saiyan mode. For everybody who's into anime and the Dragon Ball Z fans, it's like you just saw that level just raise with Paul Pogba today, and I want more of that out of him, because we need that kind of level this season if we're going to challenge for any kind of silverware. It really is beneficial for Manchester United. When Paul Pogba is on song, Manchester United look much more of a threat than they already are at this point.
Yeah, that's spot on, Greg. Just to clear up something for Richard, yeah, he's saying Reeves lost me when they put physicality and James in the same convo.
Wow, boy. No love for Dan
He was
James.
really applying to the McFred pairing, but the industry is what would apply to James, right? And he just matched that kind of intensity, right? And we know Richard is not much of a big fan of Pogba. Richard has always be, hey, let Pogba throw frame. But I mean, we see today how effective he could be, right? Jody saying starting 11 was the 11 everyone should have expected. As for Pogba, it's 1 out of the 2. He playing for a move. Oh gosh. He's staying.
How you're so negative?
You didn't really
Everybody on this negative juice tonight.
Or he actually seeing that the club moving in the right direction.
Right. We could take that. Definitely we could take that.
Well, for all of us, we really hope it's the latter of the two.
Yeah. They've just seen the man slide tackle and clean up a man on the halfway line.
That was James. Dan James. The first half.
I just keep telling people, they just watch Dan James and think the man a little bony and think he can't do nothing. He just a little pace. Dan James look like the first man who will run into a fight. And he know he can't win, but he's still running and look to go with people. You know, he look like that kind of fella. There's something about him.
So I'm seeing that we have like 14 people on the show right now, and we do appreciate that, guys. So if we could push that number to 20, 25, we got appreciate it. So keep sharing, keep liking, we appreciate it, right? We just want to get the content out to other Man United fans. Dream Chaser saying, I tell you before, Pogba is the best midfielder in the world.
Thank you.
Big Phil approves.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Finally some positivity on the All In All United podcast. Finally.
We can't let him go. We need him to sign a new contract. Yeah, he had to sign that thing, but he had to sign that thing. Simeon, welcome, buddy. He's saying the announcer said Pogba had more assists in this game than all of last year.
Yeah, boy. That was surprising, boy. That was surprising to hear.
Very. He had three last year.
Yeah, and for a whole season. Wow, for a whole season.
Anyway, guys, so let's look, Nico, at the first half, right? Because at the end of at halftime, we went in 1-1, and I remember a message and I said, Nico, we had a score.
We were in 1-1.
1-0
in the second half.
1-0. Yes. Thanks for the correction. We went 1 up at the halftime, and I was telling Nico, that 1 goal lead. History has proved time and time again, especially against the leaky defense we have, right? That is not a good lead to see out a game, right? We have mistakes in us. And I was concerned that at some point, Leeds was going to equalize, even though, the tide was flowing in our favor. Anyway, Nico, thoughts on the first half?
No, but before we reach the first half, I think it was a master stroke from if it's Oli or if it's the Murto, Darren Fletcher, whoever it was, for Varane to come out at that point to announce Varane when it had this, this moment, why Varane haven't signed us yet, what happened, you know what I mean? By the time they say Messi leaving Barcelona, by the time you reach PSG, by the time you start the chain for PSG, we are more or less seal Varane since then. So I think it was a master stroke to really bring him out at that moment today. I think that would have raised the levels. I think you could have feel your pause raising. You know what I mean? But it felt like the Varane coming out felt like we signed like a Messi. That is how it felt. And seeing Varane walking out, I know Phil, but still, it felt different. It had this surreal feeling towards it.
It put us at a psychological advantage. Right?
Exactly. And it felt like, hey, Manchester United is really a big club. It felt that way. How you're seeing the fans. So I think the trick to do that, I think that worked in our favor. I think we started the game very well. I say, well, we pressed well. You saw structure today. You're always crying for structure, but you saw it, and you saw it with you saw real I mean, link up plays upon link up plays, and you saw players running off players, and you saw any 1-2, and then the pass to the player running in the space, which to me, you know, we always crying out for, and we saw that in the first half today. I think Bruno was a big part of that. I think Bruno, I know you had a message my junior game, and I say, God, Nico, you see that you walk out from Bruno. Yeah, that's why by the time I watch your message, Bruno done score already. I say, hey, leave Bruno alone. You understand? Leave Bruno alone. Bruno, because what you get from Bruno, you're not gonna get from a Grealish.
If I could have deleted that message, I could have deleted it.
Yeah? Grealish and them comfortable, you know, that's trying to create, but Bruno trying to create and he's scoring, you know, because watch that run off from that pass on Pogba, you know, how much midfielders doing that, you know? So that was an excellent goal. That would have played into how we started the game. I think we was in control, you know, for the entire half, and I think it was an excellent half. You know, I guess I'll let you guys talk and we'll continue in the second half.
Yeah. Before I move to Phil, right? Jody make a real good point here, and this is something that I always used to look at some of the other top teams. Well, and I will use Barcelona when they were a top team, right? Saying I love how 2 or 3 players was closing down the ball at once, and I remember when we played against Barcelona, that's the kind of system you'll see happening. They close on, so you don't have enough time on the ball, and I saw that happening today against Leeds. So that's a good point, Jody. Go through, Phil.
Oh Lord!
All the football fans out there that were telling me about this whole De Bruyne and Jack Grealish link up, save that energy for Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes as well too. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell me about no Jack Grealish and De Bruyne. Tell me about Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Okay? Not only the first half, but that second half as well too. Oh my gosh. Okay? That first half, Jesus Lord. I could take off the sunglasses. just had to get a little dramatic there just now, right? But all jokes aside, right? I saw improvements from Wan-Bissaka. Because Wan-Bissaka in the preseason, he didn't look himself, right? But Wan-Bissaka today, going forward, was really good, right? Tomorrow's newspapers will talk about Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. Yes, and they deserve it, right? But another guy I must mention is Scott McTominay, right? Scott McTominay looks so positive. And by positive, I mean he was passing the ball forward, right? When there was even a lot of space or a little bit of space, Scott McTominay was passing that ball forward, right? So Bruno and Pogba, definitely great performance in the first and second half. But for Scott McTominay and even Fred as well too. Fred played well today. First half was pretty good, and you are right, Reem. I was feeling the exact same way. Going 1 goal up into that second half, I was feeling a bit nervy, right? And I, for some reason, saw Leeds equalizing. But then, as somebody mentioned in the comment, the crowd was the 12th man, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Let me just get some comments here, and then I'll come to you, right, Beck? Simeon saying here the movement of the top 4 attackers worked beautifully. I think that position gives Pogba more freedom to move in, to find the ball without someone on his back. Yeah, playing Pogba up the pitch, high up the pitch earlier is the answer. You know.
I want to mention one thing quickly, Reem, before you go to anybody else, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people are asking what's Paul Pogba's best position. In my opinion, I don't care what Paul Pogba's best position is. Give him the freedom to do whatever he wants, right? If you look at all of Paul Pogba's assists today, they were from all different parts of the field. I don't know if you guys recognize that.
Correct. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Hey, Arun, thanks for joining, buddy. He's saying the win was most fitting, definitely, buddy. He's saying as the Leeds fans were chanting and mocking Rashford and Sancho, them, watch me.
They were actually making references to the Munich disaster as well, too. So that, like, they look for Alex today.
And I know it have a fierce rivalry between Leeds and Man United that dating back how far, right? And even before the game, it had some somebody, what do you call them, the people who's fighting now, the hooligans.
Yeah.
We've had some fighting in the streets between Leeds and Man United fans and things. So I think, as Arun said, the win would have done, and the type of win, it was not 1-0 win.
Yeah, I beaten.
That trashing was enough to send them with the tail between the legs, you know. Go through Bex.
So first half was pretty much what I expected. If we remember from the games versus Leeds last season, they play an open game, and so you have to play as open as they play, and giving Pogba the freedom to roam across the front of the pitch is the answer to everything. We all know that he does not like a restricted role. He does not like playing deep. He prefers to play higher up the pitch where, you know, he has the freedom to do anything. Like Phil said, just give him a free role. And that's exactly what he did today. He had a free role. He was assisting everything, and it paid off. And McTominay as well was pretty much bossing that midfield. He was part of everything.
He looked like a midfielder today.
Yeah. If we counted 3 assists, he would have 2, more or less. The first goal and the last goal. He was very instrumental in getting the ball to Pogba to assist. So that was what I expected.
Whoa. That comment there. Take that off the screen quickly. I don't want to get clipped.
Let's
turn it off my camera. I can't take that comment. I don't want to get clipped. I don't want to get clipped on this podcast with somebody saying that. Oh my God.
Let's slow down there a little bit. I think we taking it a little too far.
So here's right. Before we go back to Becky, I think we are allowing. Callum does always say if we are allowing drug tests and thing, right? But I think after the result today, we gotta allow some little extra over the top comments. We gotta allow.
All right. Yeah. We can do that. We can do that today. Today I need to celebrate. You can celebrate today.
So we gotta allow it. Today is the new generation Paul's. All right, but tomorrow.
All right.
I don't know about all of
that. Freedom to get carried away tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Go through Becky. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. First half pretty enjoyable, pretty open as you would expect playing versus Leeds, because that's how Bielsa sets them up anyway for an open game, and so it made sense that the forwards had as much freedom as possible and were not restricted by their positioning. Pogba was everywhere, like Phil said, assisting from all parts of the pitch, and it paid off. So regardless of what the issues were with the starting 11 in the beginning, we could see why Ole picked his team, even with Daniel James, because his pace versus Leeds is really and truly what Ole would have wanted from him. So it worked out.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Phil, right? And it's based on something that Becky had mentioned, right? Leeds display a particular way, and Leeds with experience are beaten, right? Playing this particular way last time around. You found it strange because we saw last season the second game, because we had dealt a beating on Leeds in the first game at Old Trafford last season. Then you realize, like, wait now, Bielsa, he have a different, he changing, because they played a lot more conservative in the second fixture. Didn't you expect that they would have come? I didn't expect to see Leeds come in so open this game, knowing what had happened before. What was your thoughts on Bielsa coming into the game?
No, I was surprised because in the very last fixture, even if it was at Leeds, right, they played very conservative, sorry. So in this fixture, one where it's at Old Trafford, and two where fans are back, I kind of expected them to be a bit more reserved, but they played open. They opened up, right, and that kind of played into our hands, right? Because at the end of the day, Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, if you give them space like NASA, oh my gosh, they're going to unfair you. They are going to unfair you, and it looked like that today. I don't know if Bielsa learned from his mistake last season, but Leeds are one of those teams that they're exciting to watch. They're either going to beat you 6-0 or they're going to concede 6 goals, right? So let's see where Leeds go from here. And at the end of the day, they showed up, they got slapped, and they go home.
Yeah. 2 comments and another comment to Gregory, right? Peter saying, I agree, Pogba was free roaming, but Bruno was also. They changed positions during the game. However, there was a synergy, telepathy, and creativity. It was beautiful. Wept with joy. Nice.
Man.
Jody said, I expected this performance knowing that Leeds play open football. But the real test will be when we face the defensive low block teams. That's correct. Dream Chaser saying, I feel James could go on loan. Ahmad could stay, my opinion. Riyadh, welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying Bielsa probably thought with United missing Rashford, Cavani et al. That they could have gone United.
Have a go.
Yeah, have a go at United. The Leeds fans got slapped up outside and the team got slapped inside. Greg, tell me first half.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to watch because you saw that fluidity, and I kind of share the sentiments of everybody around that. Paul Pogba is not a person that you can tend to shoehorn in a particular position, because when he's allowed to really be as free as he needs to be able to move about and create, you see the best version of Paul Pogba, in my honest opinion, because he gets that freedom for France. He had that freedom at Juventus. You allow him to be able to do what he can, and you see how he's working in tandem with Bruno. As everybody says, that they rotate, they try to make sure not to get in each other's way, because a lot of times last season I felt like that was happening a lot. Because sometimes the position that Bruno would be in, Paul would want to drift into sometimes himself. So I guess there's an understanding that's been worked out as regards the way that they play together now. And I mean, as regards Scott McTominay's performance, I think he loves playing against Leeds. I think Leeds is probably his favorite opponent. I mean, he scored twice against them, and he showed that he can be the engine room. Like we said, Leeds style of football kind of caters to him being able to do more. And it also worked in tandem with Fred, because I mean, Fred scored. Let's not leave Fred out of this. I know Nico does like the game as a whole talk. I tell him, we gained jacket today. Jacket today.
Yeah.
Fred played well, and he got a goal for his work as well too. I mean, but we focused in on the first half, but you saw that rotation, you saw that ability to them to really press as hard as they should be. I think the defensive coach that was brought in, kind of, you're seeing certain shreds of it really standing out now, because a lot of times you would see them kind of backing off and not going forward at the ball at times. Wan-Bissaka showing a bit more confidence going forward too.
And awareness, definitely. Yeah. When Bissaka had a lot more awareness today than before.
Yeah, so you're seeing that there's a lot of things that paying dividends going into it now, and it's not just that we're becoming a 45-minute side, or just like we play for one half and then probably just shut going back in our shells for the next half. It's showing that we can play consistent, we can get better, but like we said, we have to see what happens with the low block teams, the likes of like the Crystal Palaces and the Burnleys and all those, to see what kind of improvements have been made in the way that we set up going forward, because not everybody's going to be like Leeds. I mean, I wish we could play Leeds every week if that's what we do it to them 6 and 5 respectively, but that's not always going to be the case. But if we continue to show that level going through to this season in all the competitions, then this team is more of a threat than people actually realize. I think a lot of people still sleep on Manchester United's attack, and that is not full strength Manchester United, and we still put 5 past Leeds.
Yeah,
it's scary.
And you made a good point there, because Simeon saying here, no one plays like Leeds. Great game today, but it's one game against a team that always wants that smoke ready for the fire. Yeah. So with that being said, Nico, you think that the hype behind this result is, I don't want to use the term justified, right? But you think we should really believe what we see today after the result. And I want to be, and I don't want nobody to misinterpret what I'm trying to ask here, because just as Simeon comment stated, different teams play differently. So, we get all hyped with this game, right? And we know one of the biggest problems with this team, and we've seen it last season, is consistency. So we'll have a good game against Leeds, and then we'll go to Burnley, and then we'll come here asking for DM, asking why it is we didn't buy a DM. Who is Fred from Venezuela? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So is it? Do you think it's a new season? It's the first game. You think we justify to get gassed going forward?
Of course. And why I would say that is that you saw improvements in the team. Simple as it had times when McTominay came deep and actually made some clearances that if he didn't do that, right, could have led to a good chance, right, for the opposition. But yes, what you saw a bit more awareness within the team, right? You saw it with Wan-Bissaka, you saw it with Fred, you saw it with McTominay, even Pogba at times. You saw where Pogba was aware of his defensive responsibilities at times too, and you saw he making that track back. So to me, overall, you saw a much better awareness in the team, and that was defending and going forward. That was 1. 2, that was now a full strength team. So imagine you get players now like a Sancho inside, you get a Cavani inside. Up to now, I still don't know where we can play Rashford, but especially with Pogba taking that role, you're kind of thinking that Rashford will have a tough time getting back into the squad. You have Greenwood, is still sure how Greenwood gonna match up. Yeah, Marshall. So to me, when you fit all these pieces, these other pieces, that is, you could say maybe even Ilka had a summer who played today. When you place them into the team, a Varane coming back, a sorry for Lindelof, because after that performance of Lindelof today, could you really possibly drop Lindelof?
Yeah, that's real tough. That's real tough.
It's tough. Phil, I feel it's tough. But
Phil,
I say this,
Russian Lindelof out that way.
But even so, when I was listening to one of the podcasts and say, just as how with Shaw and Tellers coming and Shaw improve, maybe that could help Lindelof. But still, with Varane, how that gonna help Lindelof? That ain't gonna help Lindelof. So a point is, you have seen a vast improvement in the squad in terms of quality. And then you also saw a lot better awareness within the team, and to me, the confidence from today's performance, I think, could only carry us that step further into believing in ourselves. And I think teams like Burnley, the low block teams right now, those coaches wondering, well, how the hell we going to stop Manchester United from scoring? Because when you look at the team and then watch at the bench, we have so much quality that I think we would definitely be a force to reckon with.
Well said, Nico. And we always talk about when Oli look at the bench, he wondering whether to go to the bench, and that was probably the reason why he would have had to run them fellas to the ground before. Because you look at today, when he took off Pogba and James, he brought on Sancho and Martial.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the level didn't drop. I mean, you would have the momentum kind of, right? But you would have realized the level and quality didn't drop. And that's what we want. So even if Rashford may not walk back into the team, the drop-off not going to be far when the ball going up and you're seeing number 6 off, number 10 on. You know what I'm saying? Bex, talk to me with your thoughts on, the team going forward, whether we should get gassed or whether the inconsistency might show up.
I think that today might have not proven anything. It's Leeds. They play like I said earlier, they play an open game every season. You expect, if you have a good enough attack, to put 5-6 goals past them at this point. But at the same time, you don't want to, looking at the players we still have to come in, you expect them to offer something. And you expect that we would only get better from here. I don't think we should overhype anything, but at the same time, let's not underhype it either. If we could find a balance and stay level, and like everybody was saying. We haven't faced the low block teams yet, and that was the issue last season in that we couldn't create enough chances against them to get the goals to win the games. It's easier against teams that play open football.
Definitely.
But I still think we have a good chance going forward. I fully expect silverware this season. That's the gist of it. I expect silverware this season with the current crop of players we have and those we still have to come in. I just wanted to comment in terms of Varane replacing Lindelof.
It can't happen, you know. I know you like
It will happen because
Yeah, it will
obviously Varane is not going to replace Maguire. He's the captain, you know. But I also think that we're forgetting that Lindelof played pretty much all of last season with a back injury. So I don't think we have even seen the best of Lindelof. He's a pretty good ball playing centre back. His assist today might have come as a surprise to a lot of people, but it's not anything new to him. He's played these balls before. So he has, and if I have to go through the archives to find it, I will find it. But he has played those type of balls before. Maybe
Of
it
course.
didn't
Yeah.
maybe it didn't produce such an exquisite assist or an exquisite goal as it did today, but he has played those balls before. And
We can think,
he
think
seems
back
to
on to
have,
Lindelof against. Sorry, I was saying we can think back to Sheffield
yeah.
United when we won 3-2 away from home. That was Lindelof made the assist for one of Rashford's goals in that game. So
Yeah. I remember he's done it a few times. So I think that him having he had a pretty okay Euros, and he seems to have recovered from that back injury. So I think we might see a better Lindelof this season. I expect Varane to replace him in the starting 11, and that's fine. But I still think he has a big part to play.
Yeah, well said. Let me just get some comments here before we move on, right? Because we have a couple coming in. Simeon saying, remember that this team is fresh, not tired and beat up like the end of last year. Everyone could run. With the season not as congested as last year, I think it favors us as we aren't as deep as others. Yeah. Phil?
We don't forget we're in 4 competitions, you know. We got
Yeah.
Champions League, we got the EPL, we got Carabao Cup, we got FA Cup. So it's only the first game, but come October, November, you're gonna start to see games that are going to be played on like your Thursdays or even on like Sundays for like a FA Cup, and then we're gonna have games in hand, right? But in terms of not getting carried away, but I'm still hyped because we know what we can expect or what to expect from the players for the next 20 to 30 games, right? I'll be straight up. If Bruno and Paul Pogba keep up this chemistry, a lot of teams are going to be fearful of us, right? What this person said, love Pogba's positioning today. Pogba, when he's given the freedom, people can argue that, you know, Pogba is not good at the pivot or Pogba is not good on the left. I don't care where Pogba plays. One word, freedom. Give him the freedom to play wherever he wants, and he will create wonders, right? As I mentioned, all 4 assists today were from 4 different positions on the field, right? But yeah, going forward, definitely excited for what the team can do. We know what the team is capable of doing. Is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the guys are going to implement going forward, right? So,
Yeah. And one thing about what you mentioned with Pogba and his freedom too. What makes the partnership between Pogba and Bruno so unique and so like a perfect match is that Bruno is the type that will do the dirty work. You have a problem doing the dirty work. You have a problem tracking back, you know, and winning the tackle. So it kind of gives a good balance to Pogba's lacking desire to run back. Not that he wouldn't do it, but you know, he prefer not. And Bruno is the type who industrious but have quality, so he don't mind, you know, playing in that extra graph just for the team, you know, and that will complement Pogba qualities.
Jesus
Peter,
Lord. There's an essay.
No, I don't go down and say that.
Yeah, here we do.
I can barely see myself.
Here we do, Peter. We gotta get Peter on the show. So that he can
Yeah,
talk,
definitely.
you know, because he's have a lot to say. So Peter, you know, we go connect, right? He's saying what I'm most happy about is how clinical our finishers
Finishing.
how clinical our finishing has become. Thanks. When you see Fred scoring, you know something different happening. The first game will set the tone for the balance of the season. And reply to Reem's statement, this is definitely a new season. There's a desire, plus the big thing for me is the crowd. Yeah, that's true. Playing football in front of big crowd brings out the best most of the times, yes. But consider this: we played without the top 4 players in the first team. Interesting.
Another thing, and before you go any further, Raymond, there's another thing we also have to look at. Like you said, like Phil was saying, we also have to look at the fact that how many competitions we're in. This will also come into play with the rotation that Ollie starts to use, because you cannot afford to run the same 11 players into the ground. Remember, with certain competitions, you have to prioritize. For most people, when you look at it, it's mainly Champions League, Premier League. The other 2 competitions can always kind of catch up if need be. But you want to make sure that you have your strongest squads for those 2 major competitions. The Carabao Cup, you could let players like Jesse and Shola and all these other guys probably run out for that if need be, depending on the opposition that we're playing, because you're not always going to have to need your strongest players for that. Of course, this is an opportunity as well to rotate and allow Donny van der Beek to be able to get more games into, because if you're going to try different positions and also try different formations, which will help, because you're like we've always been saying, we've always had an issue with low block teams. You change up the system and the setup and the way you go forward to approach those teams. It will really make a difference in how we break them down and how well we perform. So I would think that there's other options and there's other variations that may be planned going forward into this season. So, like I said, we cannot afford to burn out Bruno and Paul and Mason and Marcus and all these other players that coming into the team, because you need to be able to utilize them and have them at their best for the big games.
I definitely agree with that, Gregory, right? But I don't know if Ollie may see it like that. Considering some of the names that you called, right? Because remember, we were saying that this season Ollie needs a trophy. Whether we don't rate the Carabao Cup, whether we don't rate the FA Cup, those are trophies, right? And I mean,
I rate the FA Cup. I rate the FA Cup.
So yes, we want him to rotate, because and I mean that's the purpose of having a squad, quality and depth, right? So you talk about Donny, and you call other names, which I think will not drop. The quality won't drop off too much if we were to consider rotating for the lesser cup games, if I could call it that.
You call Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard's a West Ham player, boy.
Has he signed for West Ham? Has he not? Has he signed for West Ham?
I am speaking it into existence. I am positive. Okay, Jesse Lingard will be.
Unless your name is Fabrizio Romano, I ain't trying to hear you.
I just want to get his comments here, because Riyadh had his comment earlier, so it fits in to read this one, right? Dream Chaser, thanks for this. He's saying earlier, Marcel came on and made 1 or 2 nice little touches. Yeah, telling earlier he's gonna have a good season. I don't know.
This is a make or break season. This is a make or break season for Anthony Martial. This is a make.
I don't understand why he ended well at the end, though. That's the only thing. But he was going good.
But really, I think everybody here can agree. This is a kind of a make or break season for Martial, because he really needs to pick up from what happened last season. Everybody could say he was very, very poor. So get into your groove, because at the end of the day, there are people that can keep you out of this team. If he really wants to be considered a main player, he has to step up. Otherwise, you're gonna fall to the wayside.
Yeah, definitely. Mitchell James, thanks for joining, buddy. He's saying Ollie is building a squad with a winning mentality. Bruno has winning mentality, so too does Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Cavani. We have a lot more leaders in the dressing room now. That's correct. Let me get some comments and then we'll go to the second half, right, Nico?
Yeah.
Arun also saying Lindelof became captain of his national team. It will boost confidence too.
Yeah.
And you would sell for more as well too.
we are selling Lindelof. They were just saying, with this performance, give Glazers an argument against Ole to not need more signings. Ole, what do you think about that?
That may have some weight, you know. That may have some weight. But I know Oli said that he's wants one more. I know he said that. So
Yeah, I think especially if we're looking for somebody, then we're looking for somebody long time. We ain't just gonna look for somebody after today's performance. So if you're looking for somebody, there's something in the pipeline from long before. So I don't think that's gonna change anything.
Defensive midfielder.
yeah, most likely.
I don't know who.
I think we have to adopt this mentality of being proactive instead of being reactive, right? Because at the end of the day, a win is a win, right? But I don't want to wait until a loss comes or a draw comes or we just barely scrape a 1-1 in the 97th and a half minute to say, you know what, we should have signed a defensive midfielder, right? Come Monday, come Tuesday, come Wednesday next week, I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be telling whoever is in charge of the transfers, yo, what's the update on, I don't know, Ruben Neves? What's the update on Saul Niguez, right? Just come next week, right? So
CC John Mutter and let him know we cannot rest on our laurels. Contentment breeds complacency. We cannot afford to do that right now.
Correct.
Yeah, because Matic cannot play every game this season.
Correct.
yeah,
Matic is my age. Matic is my age. He's 34. I'm sorry. I can't.
I'll give you 3 examples, right? Juventus won the league and then turned around and signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Bayern Munich won the league and turned around and signed Robert Lewandowski. And then coming down to what happened just now, even though Manchester City won the league, they even went and signed Jack Grealish for 100 million.
And they won Kane as well.
And they want Kane for 150 mil, right?
Yeah.
That's called being proactive, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Spot on. Jamal, welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. Riyadh saying with 9 subs being allowed this season, we can go
9?
half. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I think there was talk. They made an adjustment. Yeah, 9.
9, but still only 3. And then you have the 4th concussion sub. So it's so
right.
So numbers increase to allow Oli. It kind of ease Oli from having to make the hard decision to leave out players, you know.
Yeah.
But it still remains 3 subs and 1 concussion sub, right?
And one thing I like though is, as we on this, is the offside rule. Changing the offside rule.
Yes.
Definitely that was a plus.
Yeah. That I think the line is the offside line is about 5 centimeters or something. I don't know if
Yeah.
Something like that.
Jamal saying big up.
Yeah, man.
Right?
And here he goes with the shades again.
He's also saying scary to know this isn't even our strongest 11. Yeah. But I think everybody, made a good showing of themselves today. Well, bar Dan James. I don't want to be too critical, but Dan James,
I ain't saying that.
Peter saying Rui Marcel is going to be given ample time to prove because of the unavailability of Rashford. I believe he's going to play well. I hope Dalot. Yeah.
He got an R for some strange reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. So going into the second half, right? We have a little under 10 minutes, so we'll try to run through. Going into the second half, guys. We went in 1 up, but we conceded. And the beauty of conceding our goal is that we responded almost immediately, if not immediately. Nico.
Yeah, as you would have said that reminds me of on that Ferguson. When they say you tweak the lion tail, that when we play and then you come and score on us and they say, what? You score on we? Nice. They tweak the lion tail and we get bad. And that what happened today. It was a screamer. That they scored the equalizer and I said, well, all right. It was a good goal. It wasn't a defensive error. Yes, we could have closed them down faster, but that was a worldie. So I gave that. But as you say, the response, I think the pass on Pogba, I think even, I don't know if that defender's so slow or if Greenwood's so fast, But I find Greenwood make up that space, get that ball, and then still run past that man. Right? And then arrowed it down in the corner, which to me, hey, that finish was different because the amount of work Greenwood had to do from the moment that pass was made to the finish, that was a lot of work, and I think that was superb, you know what I mean? But that finish was quality. I think after that everything was just quality. I think after that Leeds didn't know what hit them. Was just goals after goals. I think again the finish from Bruno, the one where again the pass on Pogba, not the one when he stopped, but the one where he, the Leeds keeper didn't even know. All he had to do was that, and the ball was in the back of the net. I think after that, I think we took control of the game. I even find that Oli take too long to take off Bruno. He should take him off long. I say like, Oli is done 5. Take off Bruno now. Take off Pogba now. Them for us to get a rest now. So I think after that we overtook the game and we showed our quality today. Leeds put it into our hands in terms of how they just play that open game. We talked about that before. And we annihilated them today. And super performance overall.
Yeah, Becky, thoughts on the second half?
Yeah, I felt like United were in cruise control the entire time. Even when they conceded, it was just failure to close down Ayling quickly enough. You can pick any one of 4 players who could have closed him down easier or faster, and they didn't. But like Nico said, it was a great goal anyway. So. But once Greenwood scored, I felt like it's over for Leeds. I felt like there was no coming back. No matter what they did, I never felt like they would get back into the game.
True.
And goal after goal, I think United scored those 3 goals in a matter of 8 or 10 minutes. So it was a pretty great response to an equalizer. Something that we haven't always seen in the past. You would see they go 1-0 down or they equalize, and then it's a kind of a scurry to try and figure out what to do. But they looked in cruise control the entire game, and that was a good thing to see. I think that we could say that might set the tone for the rest of the season and how they respond to a setback.
Sure.
And I remember when we scored. Nico messaged me when Leeds score, and by the time I responded to Nico, Greenwood score. We talking about Greenwood goal. Bruno come and score, and like it was.
I was still celebrating Greenwood's goal, and the ball was in the net again, and I was just like, what's going on? That
was so good. Just get a comment before I go to Big Phil, right? Julian, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying Lindelof, Varane in replacing me boy. Pick on somebody else.
Go and cut grass. Go and cut grass.
No, Lindelof was good. Lindelof was good today.
Julian,
give me credit.
Oh my God.
Lindelof was good. He was good.
I don't think anybody, well, all right, I'm not gonna be too critical, right? But I don't think anybody made a bad showing of themselves today,
No.
So
not even Dan James. Kareem, I find we're overly harsh and overly critical of Daniel James. Okay, his end.
He wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad
today. His product needs work, and
we've allowed Martial to get away with worse. We've allowed Martial to get away with worse. So.
Exactly. James is still a young boy. I think we should cut him some slack, man.
No. In terms of why Oli would have picked him, I think he did his job.
He did his job. Yeah. He's just a little wild with his finishing
and product.
Yes.
From Dan James.
Yeah. That's it. He does his job.
Yeah. Joselle saying, let's not be too quick to write off Martial. Let me just read over this thing. Let's not be too quick to write off Martial because he had about 24 goals and more, and 10 assists in 2019-20 season. Just needs more. Yeah, he coming back, Ollie. He coming back. But I don't want to dwell too much on the past. It's a new season. He has his opportunities. He'll get his chances. We hoping the best for him, right? Somebody was going to say something?
Some more than others. Yeah. Yo, I mean, I was so glad after we scored when Mason scored, because when Alan scored that screamer, I had a Chelsea man in my chat, and he's like, "Look, they're going to throw our next game again." Typical Manchester United. They can't fit it. And then when Greenwood scored that, I was like, this aged well. So I was just so relieved to see that, and then more goals came after that. And I was just like, I said, "Sir, raise the bar. You're a Chelsea man. You're supposed to be the so-called champions of Europe. Don't screw it up today." But I was just there. I was ready for any kind of smoke. Anybody came my way, especially for the Arsenal fans. We had a time taking them to task this weekend. But it really is a positive sign to get off to a start like that. And like we said, let's just pray for more consistent moments like this, because to see Greenwood on song, to see Bruno play probably one of the games of his life, to see Paul Pogba showing up in the way that he showed up, to see the defense really kind of come together and actually gel. Like Becky's been saying, like everybody's been saying, Lindelof probably had one of the best games I've seen from him in a long time, and that's a rare to say with Lindelof at times in some big matches. But it shows that everybody's trying to raise their levels. Maybe it's because of the crowd coming back. Maybe it's because Lindelof and Maguire know they have someone there in a world-class player like Rafael Varane in their ranks now. So everybody has to really raise their game more. It's kind of like knowing that you actually have proper competition around you. Everybody has to step up now. And I think the more these guys get to play together, and you will see probably different levels. The Champions League, maybe a whole different ball game now when United start to play their games in the group stages. I'm hoping that we see some fluent football, and we have to get a trophy at the end of this. I believe that.
Yeah, fully agree with you on that one, Greg. Simon saying, sorry, I don't even claim Greenwood as my boy anymore. He done grown up. And in these streets doing damage normal, yeah, by Greenwood Bitawi. Still, while you're commenting on the second half, right? We saw the introduction of Jadon Sancho today, right? I mean, 15 minutes, and I mean, Ollie would have monitored, through training to know whether he was able to give more, and Ollie saw 15 minutes as sufficient. What was your thoughts on his debut and cameo?
Indirectly, having your new signing make their debut at Old Trafford also raises not only the crowd but also players on the field as well too, right? In my opinion, he looked a little bit nervous in the first probably 3 to 4 minutes, but then he found his footing a little bit for the rest of the game, right? So Jadon Sancho, he has a crucial part to play in Man United's campaign this season, right? Because being signed for 73 mil, he's a signing that we wanted from the season before, right? Jadon Sancho definitely will he walk straight on into the starting 11? Possibly. He may make a few more substitutions in terms of coming off of the bench. And once he gets his footing right, who knows, right? Instead of seeing Dan James on the right, we could see Jadon Sancho, right? So imagine a front three of Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, and possibly Paul Pogba, right? And before I end, that Paul Pogba pass to Mason Greenwood.
Quality.
Oh my gosh. Anybody who's watching this before you go to bed, watch it. When you wake up Monday morning, watch it. Before you go to church tomorrow, watch it. After you come home from church, watch it. Oh my gosh. What a pass. And I'm going to end there.
Nico, Sancho debut?
Yeah, I think we're just about keeping it simple, and I think he did that. On the debut, you don't want to do too much, and you fall flat, trying to do too much, So I think he I think that would have been instructions, keep it simple, get your foot in, get your feel in it. And I think he did that. And I think he looked comfortable enough. Playing in front of 75,000, I think he looked comfortable enough on the ball as a platform to build that confidence thoroughly. And as Phil said, I'm not seeing him starting just yet. But I think Oli would manage him well for him to build that confidence, before he start him, into the starting team.
Anybody else want to comment on Jadon Sancho's debut today?
Greg, you said.
Okay, yeah. I don't think there was much to really say as regards like Jadon Sancho, but I think we still have to give him time to gel. But you will see like a place, you'll see his ability really coming into the fore once he gets more time. So we have to allow him to really get a chemistry with the players around him, and we will see the best of Jadon Sancho. I can tell you that.
All right, good. So looking at the time, we've spent some good time, chatting. So let's look to wrap it and let's get some closing thoughts now, Becky.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm excited for the rest of the season. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a while since I've felt like this. We've been begging for these new signings. We've been begging for squad depth, and we finally see it. And so I feel comfortable seeing this team challenging on 4 fronts: Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, Carabao Cup. I feel comfortable knowing that we have a good enough team for now to challenge. One more addition wouldn't hurt in terms of a defensive midfielder. But I feel good knowing that even after today, there's still more players to come in that we haven't even seen yet what they can do. So this season should be fun. And I know at the end of last season, I was very critical of Ole. And I did say that progress is all I want to see this season. And by progress, I mean a trophy. And I'm not counting Carabao Cup. I don't want that. I want FA Cup, I want Premier League, or I want Champions League. That's it.
All right, nice. Greg?
You're muted, Greg.
Yeah, sorry, I realized that. I share Becky's sentiments because we've seen a lot of progression over the time that Ollie's been here, and I think it's time that really kind of it bears fruit. We want people to be able to see that, okay, Manchester United can play good football and there's something to show at the end of it. Mm-hmm. This is a very good team that's being put together. A very, very good team, capable of competing. We just need to be able to cross that line. We had issues of getting to finals because we were in 4 semifinals the season before. We didn't get over that line. We got to a final. We unfortunately fell short. The next step, the next natural step of progression is finally crossing that line and getting those trophies. And I think this team is on the threshold. Once they keep the levels up, once they keep that chemistry growing, I believe we will accomplish and achieve something this season. This team is capable of doing something special. I can just feel it in my bones. I said this on Twitter. I said this in other platforms as well too. This is probably one of the best United sides that's coming together in so long, and it's a team that can be there for some time. Because Ollie's trying to create something where you saw Sir Alex Ferguson dominating the league for years. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to replicate under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but the potential is there for something similar like that to happen. This is just what needs to happen now is for those players to trust in each other and to trust in themselves to be able to make that next step.
Yeah.
Riyadh saying here, BNT Uno and BNT Dos, 21 and 22. He say, I'll take 3/4 of today's Pogba in every game. I want all, and he wants all the trophies.
They are greedy.
They were just saying, let me hope we end the season. Let me hope we end the season where we is now. Good night. Till next. Thanks for joining, buddy.
Yeah, man.
He says stop the count. Now he says stop the count.
Unfortunately, I want to watch some more football,
Yeah.
With you, Phil.
Boy, a lot of people have not predicted Man United to do well this season, right? That 5-1 versus Leeds today sends a message to any team coming to Old Trafford. You're going to get touched like an iPad. You're going to get touched like an icon. Okay? I don't care if you're Leeds United, Sheffield United. I don't even care if you're W Connection. You are going to get touched like an iPad if you come to Old Trafford, right? Looking forward to what the guys have to bring this season. Glory, glory, Man United, and we move on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's Nico.
Yeah, I think you all would have said most of what I wanted to say. I think today would have set the tone for the rest of the season, or it should set the tone for the rest of the season. I think confidence is right up, and to me that is where it's supposed to be as a Man United team, a Man United squad. I think Oli has put together. I think this is his best squad. I'd say if we get a defensive midfielder, it could even get even better. You know, and it's a real impressive squad. Looking at this squad. The players still to play, the players on the bench, you know, it's a really impressive squad. It's just that as Greg would have said, you know, for them to believe in themselves, for them to, you know, believe in what the manager is doing. I still say that Pogba did play in the position he played today when we played the final in the Europa League final without winning it. But anyway, hopefully Oli would have learned his lesson and know that here what, you know, give Pogba a free role, give Pogba that role. You know what I mean? Where he played today, and he will create. Yeah, and he will create damage. You know, mass destruction as he did today. So I hope Oli learned that. You know, play Pogba in that position. You know, give him that free role because as Phil would have said today, Pogba, the 4 assists would have come on 4 different parts of the field. You know, so give him that role. Don't restrict him. And I think, and as long as he stays in this type of form, I think, you know, maybe possibly we could be talking about 4. We could be talking about a quadruple, but definitely we should, as Becky would have said, we should be aiming for titles. You know, no, honestly, that should be our goal. You know, we should be aiming for something.
Let's do it again.
Everybody drink his leg, boy. Jesus Lord.
Yeah, nah, we are loud.
You drink and we get drunk. You drink and everybody get drunk.
But y'all, there's a real, and it's a reason why I left this comment on screen for a little bit because this is how it was before, you know.
Yes.
In the tunnel, games were won and lost.
So
Berbatov said something similar like that. He said that the other team were watching across. He saw Rooney, he saw Ronaldo, he saw Tevez, he saw him, he saw Evra, he saw Scholes. It's like, all right, this team already know, like, yeah, we've lost this game already. Yeah. You want to get that back, that level of intimidation back. You want everybody to feel like, you know what, this is no walk in the park. And I think the game today, Leeds getting the smashing that they got today with an understrength Manchester United side was a warning shot to the rest of the Premier League. Do not think that you're coming into Old Trafford and believe you're just going to get what you want. Yeah. You're going to have to earn that. Every blade of grass, every inch, every ball, every second ball. This team looking like they want to play and they want to play hard and play for everything because there's a chip on their shoulder from the Europa League final, and I can see it in a lot of those players' faces.
It's been a long time since teams have come to Old Trafford and been scared and been nervous to play. It's been a long time. So it's time to get that fear factor back. And once you get that fear factor back, half of your work is done. All you need to do is go out and play.
It's something Nico had mentioned in terms of Pogba, you know, positioning. I mean, we had to recognize how good Luke Shaw have been, you know, in terms of providing that width when Pogba drift. You know, so kudos to Luke Shaw as well. Luke Shaw has been really progressing and he hasn't stopped from the upward trajectory from last season. Yeah. Simon saying here, Oli has teased so much with his team. We've been teased so much. Can we continue being positive for the rest of the season? Well, yeah, that's the hope. Right? So guys, for me, I mean, I guess you all would have said everything relating to, you know, the mood and where we want to be and where we want to go, you know, in terms of as a group. I today saw something that I can't remember ever seeing. I don't know if you all saw it before, but I can't remember ever seeing an unveiling of a player happen like this. And to me, I think Nick, you had mentioned it before. It really added something, you know, to the atmosphere for the fans, because we know the fans were clamoring for the Varane announcement. You know, we want a bit of positivity because we know we need a centre back. We know we need positions that need improving. And this is no slight toward Lindelof, but you know, to have the likes of a Varane coming in is a big boost for our team. You know, mentality, experience, what he have on his belt, what he's won, and to see how he was introduced to the fans today, I prefer this over any person playing any instrument, right? And I
You know Reem, the last time we actually introduced a player to a live crowd was when we bought Brian Robson from West Bromwich Albion.
Wow,
That was like 1980. How long? And
wow.
that's the last time we actually introduced a player to a live crowd in front of a full Old Trafford Stadium. We haven't done that in over 30 plus years.
Greg, you were in your 30s back then, right?
So
Somebody take Isaac Hayes off the screen before Poloni Shaft music film.
but so guys, for those of you who all have stuck through the entire show with us today, and for your viewing pleasure, you know, I just want to share this with you all. Thanks for joining All in All United today. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the comments. I want to say thanks to Becky, Greg, and Big Phil for joining Nico and myself. We do appreciate it. And guys, we will be here again next week, Saturday, because I think we have Southampton.
Southampton
next week, Saturday. All right. So I've given the last comment to Anderson. He's saying, I heard somewhere Phil Jones. Yeah, unfortunately. But I suspect, fellas and lady, next season they're gonna have a lot of number two.
Yeah, number two, yeah, with Sancho also.
Yeah, you know.
And Lingard.
So thanks again, everybody, for joining. Right, and we will see you all on the next one.
Yeah, man.
All right. Good night.